Hello, this is Katie again, and it is day 12 of a video every day in October. And then these should be cards 19 and 20. I'll be making 2 cards with you. I got my Sassy Club order. I got just 2 this time, and then this adorable card came with it. So that's cute. I wanted the Bones Alpha, so it's a bone alphabet. I won't be using this one today. I'll try and incorporate it into another Halloween card in my Halloween series. But I'm going to be using the row of pumpkins from the Borders with 2 O's, like boo, stamp set today. So I'll do that one first. And then for this card, I'll be using the Happy Halloween from Avriel Bewitching. So I need to mount that too. And I think my pumpkins should fit on that one. And then I will put these away as I normally store them, just like this Avriel set is stored. I don't have the dies for the set, if there are any. I should probably find them and get them. I would have a magnet sheet back here with the dies on it, and then the stamps in front. I have a stamp storage video. If you want to see it, it's not that far back. So I will store them just like that eventually. So I have that, and then we'll get the Happy Halloween mounted on something long enough. I don't know if this is long enough. It's a square, just to be safe. I don't have a lot of... Let's do this one. I have a lot of like large rectangle. I would like a couple more like this to hold like longer sentiments and things like that. That would be nice. So I'm going to, I just have a regular size card base here. And then this is a 1/4 inch smaller all around. I'm going to mount this down first. Bring in a little bit more light with that lamp. Hopefully that actually worked. So we'll stick down the black background first. I saw a card like this with some different pumpkins on Pinterest. It looks like it was done by Confetti by Lexi. I have it up on my screen. So that is where my inspiration is coming from. I'm going to be doing some coloring. That was more of a solid stamp. So I think I'm going to stamp these guys twice. And just because they're going... So just as a... I don't want to assume that everyone watching has been making cards for 8 years like I have. So every now and then I like to be able to throw in some tips, and not necessarily physical tips like how to do something. That I think takes a lot of practice. Just like getting used to stamping alone and stamping a good image without smearing it and stuff like that is a whole other ball of worms. But something like, I know that I want a whole row of these guys, and yet I want to stamp it a couple times. But if I stamp it here and then I stamp again, somebody's going to get cut off. And if somebody's only cut off on one side, it's going to look a little weird. So if I start them cut off instead and then stamp next to them, then it looks like it flows a little better. So it's more of a layout thing. And then when you want your focus to be your pumpkins, you pick like a simple text for that's going to go below the pumpkins. So I thought about, what made me think of this is that I wanted to try and maybe do the pumpkins maybe in the middle or something, and then at least do the Happy of Happy Halloween out of these bone alphabets, and then maybe just use the Halloween from this stamp, just ink that up. But this is kind of an image in itself, and when you want the focus to be the pumpkins, this is going to take away from that, which is the only reason I'm not using that today. So when you do a card, or when I do a card with these will most likely be, you know, the message is going to be spelled out with this, and that'll be kind of the focal point because you want people to see that they're bones and very Halloween-y. And then your stuff around it might be very small images that don't stand out as much, if that makes sense. So I'll be sticking with a simple sentiment because the focus is more on the pumpkins. So what I'm going to do... Oh, somebody's breaking something. There are only cats here right now. Hang on one sec. Okay, sorry about that. My cat was knocking things off of a countertop balcony thingy. Anyway, so I have my memento. Must be already out here somewhere. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to use this because I want to color with Copics, and I have some browns and greens for like the stems and the leaves and stuff. So it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to use my stamping platform to make sure I get a good image. If I've never, and I always have the back side to try again. If I've never used a stamp before, like it's brand new, usually the first stamp off isn't the greatest, but we're gonna do it anyway. Just want to make sure it's very inky, and if there's kind of some solid lines, I usually turn it and smudge it a little bit to get more ink on it. So I'm going to, like I said, start with someone off the page and then ink up again. And I'm not going to use the whole stamp again, so you don't even have to ink up any more than these guys. And then I think I'm eyeballing this good. Hopefully you can see enough of that. And then I'll just wipe up my surface under that. I probably could use that to clean this too. Oh well, I'll clean the stamp later. That's just an alcohol swab. So this guy's cut off a little bit on this side, and he's cut off over here. He probably could have been a little bit closer that way, but that's what I was talking about. So until you stamp it, you don't really see how it's going to end up, but that works for me. I will just go ahead and stamp the Happy Halloween while we're at it, and then I will color. These are going to be kind of, I don't want to say clean and simple cards necessarily, because sometimes I feel like people say a card is clean and simple and it's actually kind of complicated. So I think we're losing the meaning of what clean and simple means, but I'm just going to color these in and then put them on here. So it's kind of like a single layer coloring, but it's not a single layer card. But it is, you know, it's got a lot of extra white space and stuff like that. So I'll zoom in a little bit. My sister is messaging me, sorry. Okay. Okay. Just for the coloring portion. My sister's messaging me about this thing my husband and I went to last year. It's like a haunted trail in the woods. It has the word nightmare in it. It was kind of scary even for us as adults, but it's really just one of those things where you're like, anything can happen in the woods. Like, somebody could sneak in that isn't part of this and kill everyone. I don't know, that sounds super morbid, but it was really just more like, last year was kind of cool because the theme was Tim Burton movies, but like Sweeney Todd, or I don't even know if that's correct because I haven't seen that movie, but I'm just going to say Sweeney Todd would not stop following us and asking us if we wanted a haircut. And like, he would not go away. And I'm like, okay, don't you have other people to bother now? Like, they try and feed people into the woods in like little spurts. And so the line is very long. And so you're kind of separated from other people, like your group. I think they send you in like 4 at a time. So it was just us 2, and we probably went in with, you know, a few other people. but they go ahead of you or they get stuck behind you looking at stuff. And so it's just like scare actors doing their job, but they can linger on you because the other people aren't there yet for them to bother, and it kind of just changes up what they're doing. I'll have to color in these guys' tongues. I won't color in their teeth because those will just be white. Oh, I didn't color baby pumpkin. Anyway, so I'm trying not very well to be a more present aunt to my nephew, and I was like, oh, we should take him to this thing, and my husband was like, oh, don't you think he'll be pretty scared? He's only 9, but he loves being scared. So I was like, I don't know, he'll be okay, he'll be fine. We'll just, you know, walk him through it with us or something. And so I told my sister about it, and she's like, oh yeah, he'd love that. He went to some high school haunted thing and he went through twice. And I was like, okay, these people are in high school. Some of them are adult actors, whatever. And so and then last night my husband was like, I really, really think he's going to be too scared. I really don't think it's a good idea. But like, we already bought the tickets, which is fine. If he doesn't, you know, end up wanting to go, we can bring someone else. I don't think I can refund them, but we can definitely add someone to the mix because we were going to go anyway. And so I even sent her, they had a video compilation from last year when we went. So I even recognized some of it because obviously we went. But the video compilation is kind of just like, it wanted to show one quick video shot of each person so they could be featured. And it didn't really give you a feel for like what being there is like. So I told her kind of what it was like, but it's just it's very gruesome, and it's really just their costumes, and it can get very loud as well. My pumpkin coloring is not the best. I'm just going to throw that out there, but I like the shading and the colors. I know that I'm not like emphasizing these lines or anything like that, but I think they come out okay for me. So anyway. Anyway, there is a family scare, what they call a family scare. I'm hoping this video is not going to be forever long. At 7, and then the full scare that they call that we went to is at 8. And I think in the family scare, since they're not going to redo their whole setup in the woods, like it's crazy and they build everything and it's awesome, they just kind of back off a little bit for the family scare. They just don't get as close to you, and they probably make like less noise and less banging on the metal cookie sheets to sound like thunder, you know, stuff like that. There's also parts of it, like you can walk around. So there's like a little building, and yeah, it's super creepy and you can walk through it. I'm going to re-highlight his little teeth because I colored over them, but I don't think that's a bad idea because then they look even whiter. Anyway, there are parts of it that you don't like. There was one little tunnel in the last year that was spinning, and like if you had any form of epilepsy, you would probably seize up going through. I mean, you probably wouldn't go through this trail at all if you had that, but it was very dizzying, and like 30% of the people chose to just walk around it. And so if you don't want to go through one of these cramped, claustrophobic murder houses that they've put together, then you don't necessarily have to. And family scare may or may not end sooner, I guess. So like the trail ends sooner and then you exit before the scary stuff at the end, I guess, maybe. So I told her, I said, you know, it was cheaper for the family scare, so you know, maybe they'll refund us the difference if we get there and we, you know, we bought the wrong ones or something, and he's 9. Can we take him through the earlier one? She just messaged me that she showed him, she said she'd show him the video. She showed him the video and he said he thinks it's too scary. So I had a feeling that would happen. I'm glad it didn't happen halfway through the trail where I'm carrying out a crying 9-year-old. But I still think he might like the family scare, because he was going to come back with us. It was going to be pretty late. He was just going to come back with us and spend the night, even though my sister lives like 10 minutes up the road. But I haven't read her other messages. I'll see what she is suggesting. I think if we just go to the earlier one, he will be fine. But if he doesn't want to go, I'm not going to make him go. Anyway, that's what she was messaging me about. I'm kind of excited for it. There was a news story like yesterday, some haunted trail in this country. I think it's on the East Coast somewhere. Very similar in the woods. There was some guy who was not part of it who came in like a clown costume with a real knife. But he found these two people. It was a guy and a girl. The article said they were just friends. And the guy handed the knife to the girl because she thought it was a fake like rubber knife or plastic knife or something. He handed it to the girl and he told her to stab her friend. And she did it without checking. I don't know. Like, this is a super weird specific situation, but she did it and he started gushing blood because she stabbed him in the arm. So he's in the hospital now. And I think I didn't fully read the article because I'm just not sure I wanted to, but I skimmed it enough. And I think they quoted the guy who gave her, I'm going to color these little wispies green. The guy who gave her the knife said, "I didn't think my knife was that sharp." And I'm like, you talked to him and he's not in jail right now? I suppose he didn't do it. He just handed it to her. But anyway, that freaks me out because I don't want people who don't belong in the woods or on the trail to be there. I vaguely remember a security guard kind of partway through because they have to keep an eye on stuff, but it's pretty well lit as well. And there's enough security like at the beginning and, you know, but it's woods. Anybody can hide in there if they really want to. Of course, I smudged something onto this. There we go. All better. Anyway, so that's my dilemma at the moment. I'm sure we will sort it out. So I'm going to zoom out and then move that. I'm so sorry if I'm shaking you. That is card number 1. Just pretty simple. These pumpkins are so cute. Look at their little teethers. Yeah, so that's that one. And then the other one, I got an idea from Stamp with Brian, one of the very few male card makers. And the sizing layout was actually really similar. So this yellow piece is 1/4 of an inch less on all sides. So I'm going to mount that down. That might not be fully centered, but that's okay. And then this one, I'm going to use a wooden stamp. My goodness. It's Hero Arts. I might have bought this last year or the year before, but I probably bought it at Impress locally. I'm going to stamp the sentiment down first. I just want to make sure it's inky. And I don't buy a wooden stamp unless it is straight on the block, because I don't want to have to guess when I'm stamping. That's fine. That can look a little foggy. It'll look spooky because it's Halloween. And then I need, where did I put my yellow cardstock? I'm going to need a moon that will fit on here, and then we're going to do some, he's got some vellum clouds poking out. So I'm going to put my markers away. And then we want to make sure our moon is not too big. And then we've got some bats as well. So I think it's going to have to be this size, which is fine. So we will do a moon. And I think I can feed this through without having to pull up my heavy big shot. We will do the sidekick. I love this little sidekick. I won't complain about the, I thought I hurt myself, sorry. I won't complain about the suction because I am trying to suction it to a craft mat that is taped to a poster board that is taped to my desk. So I'm not, it's so stupid. I brought this to babysitting and it suctioned to the table for a very long time. So I just have it in a dumb environment at the moment. But this is just, it's bending so bad, this bottom plate. So you're probably supposed to like alternate these every time you use it, or else I wouldn't have such a bad bottom plate, but it's like curved. So it's a little hard to kind of just feed something through like that. You have to tape down almost everything, even if it's not a super detailed die on a certain image, you know? It's just because it's going to move. I also need to do some bats. So I'm going to put my circles away really quick. Oh, and I need to do the clouds as well. So I'm going to be using, these are the only cloud dies I have, and I find that kind of sad because I thought I had more. Let me know below your favorite cloud dies. They do not have to be stitched. These are just the only ones I have. Whatever cloud dies are your favorite, let me know. This is just a Little Inker Designs rainbow cloud situation. So I'm going to cut, we'll just do one of each cloud out of vellum. I'm hoping what's hanging out on my little cutting pads doesn't mess with the vellum too much. All right, those are pretty cute. So we've got two vellum clouds. And then put that back. And then I have these bats. Sometimes when I go to impress in person, I just kind of go, they have like these bins of dies. They're all like Memory Box, or this is Memory Box. And I just never cut them apart because I almost always want one of each size anyway. So I will cut those out of black cardstock. But they have such cute little, like these little kitty cat dies, and then you can use them as a silhouette on a card. And they're not, you know, the price point is good, pretty good for what they are. And it's just kind of a lot of loose dies, but they have a lot of like holiday. A lot of them I probably would never use, but every now and then I'll want something like little bats. But there also are other bats I would probably like to have someday. I like the bat punch from Stampin' Up! This year. I should probably get my hands on that. It matches the paper, which is kind of cool. Some of their dies and punches have started to match their patterned paper, so you can just put the punch and cut out the 3 bats that are in the pattern paper or what have you. I just like the bats there, but if you also have a favorite bats die or a few sizes of bats, let me know down below, because I'm always on the hunt for more Halloween stuff all the time. So since this stamped okay, I'm going to put this down and then we will assemble the rest of it. And I think very soon on an upcoming, it is the weekend, so I have a little more time to plan. On an upcoming card, I need to use this drippy goo because, oh my god, I mean, come on. And those skulls are really cute, and the candy corn and the webs and the little, they're all adorable. But the drippy goo, I need to use that on a card. And then my drippy goo die that I got in the little die set from CS Designs, I think. I feel so bad. It's the first time I bought from them, so I really can't remember. And there's so many stamp companies now, which is great, which means you guys are doing good. But I can't keep track anymore. So I think it's CS Designs. I've already mounted them to or put them on a magnet. So anyway, the Drippy Goo die is fantastic, and I need to use it very soon. I was so excited about it. So I'm just going to put some tape runner on, let's see, on that side, because these are going to be hiding, and then this side, and they'll just kind of be sticking out a little loose. That's what they appear to be doing in my sample photo. And then that way we're hiding the adhesive. So we'll just hold our moon down while we hide the adhesive. And so then you can see, obviously, vellum is very hard to do with adhesive. There's a vellum adhesive. I don't own it, I don't think, which is a little less noticeable, but these are going to be hiding under the moon, and I kind of like the loose little clouds. So I will put down, I kind of want to raise this up, though. I'm not sure. I think I do on foam tape. I want some dimension to this. So I'm going to do that. We will do this in the middle. And then we'll just split this in two. Okay. Okay. And then, good enough. Make sure we cover the adhesive. And then for these bats, I almost always use my Zots, which are under me. I've got many different sizes, mostly small. Let's see. Let's just go with, we'll use medium. I think I might have some larges, but so with these, they're just great for kind of putting down something really quickly. You just find the dot on there. It's like a glue dot. And then I kind of bend their little bat wings up and just press where the dot is. And then I will use a small, and I probably won't use the littlest guy. I'm not sure. I'll see how this one looks first. We'll use a small one because that's the perfect size for his little bat head. And then I want to just put him straight, but I feel like that's too plain. I wouldn't know where to put this little guy. I think it's good enough with just two. So that's another thing to think about when you're, you know, is it overcrowding? Is it too many of the same bat? Would he really look good out, you know, out here? Do you want the open space? Save him for some confetti maybe. But really just that was what I was going for. So I think we'll leave it at that, and we will save Mr. Tiny Bat for another day. But that is the second card, and I will get going before this video is super, super long, and you decide not to watch it because it's too long. I hope you've been entertained, and I will be back tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye.